Does the masculine need the feminine? And does the feminine need the masculine? I just made a video about why I've been single for 10 years. And I basically made the case that relationships shouldn't really be from a need standpoint, right? You shouldn't need the other person. It shouldn't be like a codependent. It shouldn't be like a codependent type thing, right? But at the same time, I kind of want to explore this because it's just an interesting idea that kind of popped up in my head. But perhaps there's a correction. There's a correcting function going on here. I'm going to try to explain this the best way I can. This is a very crude, sort of raw idea, but if we are supposed to act according to our nature, right? If there's a natural law to the way that women and men are supposed to behave, right? So that God or the universe or a higher power or whatever you want can work through us and achieve whatever goal it wants. I wouldn't presume to know that goal, or ultimate outcome or whatever. But obviously, human beings are evolving. We are in an evolutionary sort of trajectory. Natural selection plays a part. We are getting better, right? Human beings are getting better. We're getting more efficient. That's why we develop technologies, is because we try to be more efficient organisms. We try to harness energy more efficiently. And that's basically what technology is it channels energy more efficiently, right? And we can get things done easier, quicker than we could before. And there are two different types of relationships, right? On opposite ends of the spectrum. There's a spectrum where you have super masculine man and a super feminine woman, right? Now, then the other aspect is when these two cross, where they get closer to the middle, or they get close to the middle, right? So you have a very feminine man and a very masculine woman, very close to the middle, right? And I've often said that's where sexual attraction goes to die, right? Because men are acting contrary to their nature and women are acting contrary to their nature. So you don't have extreme opposites like a magnetic field. Like a magnetic field needs extreme opposites to attract, right? You need the positive and the negative end to attract. The same with sexual attraction, the same with mating, with mate selection, right? The same with I guess, sexual fitness too, sort of what we select for in the dating pool. There might be a reason for this, right? Like this is sort of the ideal. This is what it's supposed to be according to nature, right? According to the natural law. We don't know why it is this way, but it is this way. And what would the correcting function be, right? Now, I made a video earlier, yesterday, that said the more masculine you become, the more feminine women you attract. And I believe that is true. But I also want to look at it from a different lens. Perhaps the more masculine you are, the more you actually need the feminine. Does that make sense? Perhaps a very masculine man actually needs a feminine woman. It is a need. Because once you get so far down the spectrum, it's like your masculinity is too it's too rough, right? You're too sharp. You're too sharp an object, you're too rough. You're too um you're not your bedside manner is almost gone. You're not, you're basically just not of society, right? You risk the what you risk is being, especially in this day and age where so many men and women are closer to the middle, right? You risk in this day and age just being ostracized. Like people are just gonna look at you like crazy, like, whoa. Like look at all the super masculine men today. Like all of society says that they're racist. Like Andrew Tate, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, David Goggins, like the list goes on, right? You can think of all the top masculine sort of men, and it's not just what they look like, it's the things that they're willing to say, that what their life is about, their views on things. um, when you look at super masculine men, a lot of society hates them today, right? They hate them because they're different from all the other men, all these other men that have been castrated and cucked, and they're losing their masculine energy because they don't practice semen retention. And all these masculine, fat, dominant, angry, bitter women, and and all of them are just the main majority of the population. It's all these feminine men and masculine women, right? And so obviously a feminine woman today and a masculine man today would be just like, whoa, what are you doing? Like a feminine woman would have it pretty tough today, at least from other women, like masculine women. They would give her a hard time. They would give her a hard time because they would just see her and like give her a hard time for being like, oh, why are you so submissive? Why are you submitting? Don't you have self-respect? Don't you think that you're powerful? Don't you want to empower women? Like, and they just fail to realize that empowering women is being feminine, right? The feminine is as important as the masculine. And we like to believe that we should be good just by ourselves, and perhaps that's true for the majority of the population nowadays. Maybe that's why we all are saying you should be good by yourself, you should be happy by yourself, you should be good by yourself, right? Because what we're finding is today is most men and women can't actually be happy with each other. Does that make sense? Most women and men today cannot actually be happy with each other. Why? Because most men are feminine and most women are masculine. They're going against their natures. They're going against natural law. They're going against evolution. They're going against natural selection. They're going against what's selected for. What makes, what will evolve the species the best. Where does sexual attraction, where is that the highest? Where is the family connection, the family bond the strongest? Right? Where is raising the children from both parents, where is that the most healthy and the most productive? Where do we get the best citizens, right? How do we raise the best kids, right? I would argue that it's from a very masculine man and a very feminine woman. That's where like peak, fitness is, where peak sort of sexual attraction, sexual fitness, sort of evolution sort of takes place. And like I said, this is a very crude idea. I could be misusing some terms here, but You know what I'm saying? But perhaps when you do get very, like, think about a very feminine woman in this world. Think about it. Just think about it for a second. A very feminine woman probably wouldn't work much, right? Very feminine, just loves to be sweet and caring and nurturing and kind, right? You know, she doesn't, she's not really made to work. You want to keep her, you know, in the house. Yeah, she'll do some around the house type stuff, or she'll draw, or she'll paint, or she'll have some creative sort of hobby, right? Some little, you know, she'll have a creative sort of outlet, sure, right? But if she's very feminine, if she's in touch with her femininity, I would argue that she's not really going to want to work a lot, right? She's not going to want to get out there and get into the real world and get her hands dirty, right? Very feminine woman. And if you look at all of human history, when women were their most feminine, that's when they needed men the most, right? That's what, when a woman is very feminine, it's like she's drawn and it's like she needs masculine because she's so feminine, right? She's so loving and caring and kind and sweet and nurturing and tender and just soft and all these things. So there's got to be something that balances her out, or it's too much, right? It's too much. She'll get exploited. You know, the world will just use her, right? The world won't protect her. So like the masculine has to protect her, right? It's kind of like they need each other. The feminine needs the masculine. The masculine needs the feminine, so he doesn't get, you know, freaking crazy. So he doesn't just start ripping people's heads off, you know, just biting people's heads off. So he doesn't get, you know, too rough, too, you know, cold, too just like, you know, like when you're thinking of like masculine, you're thinking of just, like, bro, I swear, like at my jobs, at both of my jobs, like I literally, it's been a year now of semen retention, but even before that, and it's only gotten worse on semen retention, but I swear, I have zero bedside manner, bro. Like I have zero. I used to try to fake it all the time. I used to work in hotels, you know. I used to work in hotels for all these years, and yeah, I lived in LA, and like I was working in hotels. It was awful. It was awful working in LA at hotels, bruh. Terrible, terrible. Anybody thinking about doing it, I wouldn't recommend it. Never. That's the one thing I just wouldn't recommend. You know, because it's like I was like constantly having to fake it. You know, like luxury hotels, hospitality, like the whole industry is just all about like, you know, you put on the freaking porcelain smile and you're just, how are you doing? Oh yeah, make small talk and act like you care. Meanwhile, you're just broken inside, bro. You're just dying inside. Like I think back to that, I was jerking off every day, just like ejaculating every day, just like, oh my God. Like no wonder I felt just so out of control. Like I was just so in my feminine. Like I wasn't even, it's not even funny. It's not even funny, you know. And so many men like that today, you know, and they don't even know that they're just in their feminine. And that's why I'm saying, like, I just don't have a bedside. I don't have a bedside manner anymore. Most people that I deal with, I will get the job done. I'm not rude. I'm not rude, right? I'm not rude, but I'm very just, how you doing? Yeah. Just very to the point, short answers. Okay. I will do the job. I will get the job done for you. I'll get it done better than anybody, right? If we're talking about the actual practical elements of the job, like how to do, like what you want done, right? I will do it perfectly, efficiently, better than most people. All these people that would be nice to you and just be like making small talk with you, I'll do it way better than them, right? But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to just be like, smile and how are you doing today? Oh my God, that's such a great necklace. And oh yeah, we have this, and oh, we have that, and oh yeah, we can do this. And oh, and just like, it's literally not in me. It's literally not even in me anymore. I don't have it. I don't have the capacity. I don't have the capacity anymore. If somebody hired me for a job and it entailed that, I turned it down immediately on the spot. I just can't do it. I cannot be anyone other than myself. And myself is just like straight to the point. Like I'm just who I am, bro. I'm just who I am, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. Like you're just gonna have to deal with it. I don't care how it makes you feel. I don't care if it makes you feel a certain way. Like most people, and the crazy thing is most people never complain about it. Never have a problem about it. I got more complaints. Here's the funny thing. I got more complaints when I was acting contrary to my nature. When I was trying to be somebody different, when I was trying to put on a face, when I was trying to put on an act, when I was trying to be nice, when I was trying to be super hospitable, when I was going the extra mile, right? People would complain. People would complain about me, right? It wasn't that often, but I would get more complaints. Now that I'm being just like myself, people won't even dare. Like, it's like they don't even dare. They're just like, it's almost like something deep within them recognizes, like, I wouldn't even, no, this is the way he's supposed to be. This is the way this guy's supposed to be. This is the way men are supposed to be. Why would, especially women, it's like women they don't complain. They don't complain ever about me. They don't complain. Even if I'm a little rough around the edges, even if I'm not, the nicest, like the most, even if my bedside manner is not the best, like they won't complain about me because I'm just, knock on wood. I should probably say knock on wood because this could come now. It won't come. I'm putting it out into the universe. It'll be good. But it's like they know. They're just like, they don't consciously know. It's not conscious. It's not a conscious thought. Maybe it is for some of them, but for most, I think it's just subconscious. They're just like, yeah, I wouldn't, yeah. Like it doesn't even register to them, but they just won't complain about it because they're just, something deep within them recognizes like, yeah, that's fine. That's completely normal. That's fine. That's actually refreshing. That's how it should be, right? But yeah, just going back to the masculine and feminine thing, like perhaps super masculine to make you just prevent you from going off the edge and just becoming too, like, you're too much, right? Like society can't even accept you anymore because you're too primal, right? You're just too, you need her, you need feminine, you need the super feminine to soften you up, right? To soften your edges, to give you a little tenderness to you, to sort of make your heart beat a little bit, right? To keep you in this world, you know? It's like both masculine and feminine are saving each other, right? And they're like a necessary part of each other, like two sides of something that fits together. And they're necessary for each other, but only super masculine men and super feminine women. When you start to come to the middle, where most people are today, this doesn't work anymore. What you get is actually the opposite. They don't need each other. Does this make sense? If you find yourself constantly in a position where like things just aren't going well with the opposite sex, right? And you're constantly just like, alone, like it's almost like the universe is forcing you to be alone, or like it's just making every relationship just awful and like doesn't work. It might be a signal that you are, if you're a woman, you're too masculine and you're dating too feminine a man. And if you're a man, you're too feminine and you're dating too masculine a woman. You're trying to get with too masculine a woman. Why the universe is trying to put you alone. It's trying to separate you. It's trying to make you so you don't need the opposite sex right now, is because you don't. Like, you shouldn't need that, right? As a man, you don't need a masculine woman. As a woman, you don't need a feminine man. Like, of course, it should be easy and simple to see this. You don't need that, right? A masculine man doesn't need a masculine woman. He needs a feminine or a feminine woman. But like feminine men, right? They're acting contrary to their nature, right? And so you might think, oh, maybe a feminine man needs a masculine woman. Okay, okay. But the problem that this doesn't work because they're acting discordant, contrary to the natural laws of nature, how they were born to be. They're acting completely reverse. It's the inverse, right, of what they're supposed to be. A man born with D and balls is acting like a woman. Like, of course, no. So I think the only way that maybe this whole sense of like, you need the opposite sex, right? You need a partner. Like, why we feel this need of like, I need a partner, right? I need a woman. Like, a man's like, oh man, I need a woman. Or a woman's like, I need a man, right? All of us are so focused on this. It's a huge part of life. It's like the main component. Sex is everything, right? Everything's about sex, and then except for sex is about power. Is that, am I getting the quote right? I don't know who said that, um but yeah, it's because you actually do, if you are acting according to your nature. If you are actually very masculine, then yes, you will need feminine, and the universe, it's almost like the universe will give it to you, because the universe senses like, this guy's just, he's too masculine, he's struggling, he's so masculine, it's almost like you deserve it. It's like, okay, he's masculine enough now, he deserves like, he needs feminine, he deserves feminine, like, give it to him. You know what I mean? And the same with a woman. She's feminine enough, okay, she's too feminine, she's in danger, like, she's too kind, she's too sweet, too caring, okay, yeah, give her a man, give her a masculine man. Good, she deserves it. It's, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I swear this is what's going on here. And it's the correcting function. The correcting function to get us back to that is the fact that it don't work in the middle, right? It don't work when you come here, where the men are very feminine and the women are very masculine, and they're trying to make it work there. It don't work there. It's like the magnets. It's two similar sides. It repels. The correcting function is it just don't work. When it don't work, that's the correction. It's trying to put you alone because you need to learn something about yourself you need to recognize something about yourself that's wrong. You need the correcting function, the signals that, oh wait, I'm acting contrary to my nature. That's why it won't work with the opposite sex right now. I'm a genius. Genius. I'm a damn genius. I think I'm onto something. Who knows? It's interesting, nonetheless. All right, I think that's it. That's the video.